most of your day is crunching Excel spreadsheets, putting together documents, chasing people, maybe having an argument with someone at least once a day. That has to happen.
Yeah. And that's why there's
Mm.
so much emphasis on digital transformation, right? And how you deliver it successfully, because it takes so much time to implement these things. The people, the technology, the processes itself, it's a dynamic interplay, and it's really hard to navigate, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you could snap your fingers and just have a change and then just try new things, like for instance with generative AI, right, when it came out, if you could snap your fingers and just implement it just like that, you would be a revelation for the company itself.
It's particularly a generative AI in changing the construction industry. But I wouldn't underestimate the amount of blockers to even allow that to happen. So in case
there's a few companies we have spoke to like that are doing cool things with AI, and it's good, but it's not like, it seems to still be playing in the same field as like software. Like it's an improvement, but it's not like as mind blowing as perhaps putting in a prompt to AI and getting like, I don't know.
Yeah,
and this
it's
is
mad.
within the last few years. And I'm like, mate, if you've not heard of email or PDF or Excel,
it's crazy, isn't it? So we're here trying to sort of spearhead what's happening with AI, and then on the ground, and I experienced this myself. So I was a naughty boy and I got some points on my license about a few months ago.
oh dear.
And I couldn't believe it when I got the thing through, and I tried to look where I could go online to kind of pay my fine and take my points.
Yeah.
I had to print it out, I had to write it, I had to post it. They posted it back to me with a stamp on it saying endorse. I thought, what century are we living in?
But this is what's so interesting, right? It's really hard to understand the impact or the return on investment you get from AI, and we're having troubles with implementing it on our projects. Now, when you look at projects, they're in effect microcosms of society at large, right? So if we're unable to imbue our projects or deploy AI on them, what makes us think that we can then deploy it in the real world effectively? Because you can't even do it within a project, right? So it's a challenge to understand, how do we actually do this and how do we measure the ROI from it? But I guess within construction, you have a certain time frame, right? Because you have the asset to be delivered and then it has to, we actually see it in operation. But it's just the complexity which is often overlooked.
Yeah, perhaps implement. I would probably give a shout out to a couple of cool companies. So, and actually a plug. Can I have a free plug? On 4 or 5 months ago or so now, where we spoke to 5 founders building AI products within construction technology. And then what we've done is we chopped up the conversations and repurposed them into a report. And we released this report. And there were a few interesting companies which I thought were making quite an impact. And I will just talk briefly about a couple of those. Number one being a company called Document Crunch. Have you guys heard of them?
I think, yeah, I have come across them. I think they were at Digital Construction Week last.
Yeah, probably. Very strong distribution, like on social media, everywhere, market very well.
Yeah.
But quite straightforward product, but very effective. So you upload your contract and AI will go through it and pull out risks, and you'll be able to ask questions about the risk, like how much exposure has my company got as a result of this, blah, 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 blah.
That is a brilliant use case, because that takes a real pain point, doesn't it?
And you know what it's like. You even as consultants, you've probably done it. I've definitely done it in my past. You send a contractor like a 50,000 page contract, and you're like, "That's all yours, mate."
Never. I would never do something like that. Owen. That's unethical.
And then they come back to you 6 months later and say, "Oh, hey," amongst everything. And it was the fact that she continuously said, "The human will check. The human will check. The human will check." She was not of the notion that AI is going to completely replace humans. It was like, no, AI will be your companion, and the agents will be your companions and will work with you to make your life easier. You will still be needed, my friend. And you will, whether it's just, maybe you're not actually doing it, you're just clicking yes or no all the time, but you're still needed.
Well, it's the oversight, isn't it? It's the oversight, and it's the reassurance. And I think that is going to be the step. All these things happen in steps. We're not going to go from where we are now to massive job displacement in one go. It will be, we'll go to start using agents. But I think the exciting thing for me, and I was talking to Yoshi about this yesterday, was this concept of micro companies. So I don't know how many people you got working for you at the moment, but
how can I quickly adjust it to give me my output, because it will be able to fix that. But I think that's the limitation you have with the current wave of AI as they're embedded in these software tools.
Yeah, you put it much more elegantly than me, Yoshi.
Well, we're all guessing. That's the truth.
It's true.
We're all guessing because we're at this point in time where things are going to change. not just for the construction industry, but for the whole world. And everyone's got an opinion. And what I keep saying to people is don't get angry with other people's opinions because nobody's wrong yet. You can go back in a few years' time and say you were wrong.
Yeah.
At the moment, no one's wrong because things emerge differently. Like who would have seen DeepSeek coming, right? Nobody saw that coming. Everyone assumed that to get any kind of model comparable to OpenAI, you would need compute and you need money. And then out of the blue, this model comes. It totally changed the game plan.
And that was open sourced.
And it was open source. So what I'm saying is that who knows? And I think we've got to at least entertain the possibility that more data and better quality, the way that we built buildings.
Yeah, they've done everything,
stands.
right? You had one person that done the structural engineer plans, that done the architecture information, that done the construction management, that actually built the thing. That's where we're heading, definitely.
True, yeah.
Full circle.
Yeah, full circle. It's like we're actually gone back. When was medieval? 400? I don't know. My history's not great.
Medieval's back a sort of that's the Battle of Hastings time, isn't it?
1066. That's how much I know. And so yeah, we're knocking ourselves back 1,000 years. Well, probably in construction they'll probably do us some favors. Let's be honest.
It's interesting you say that because I was thinking about this morning. Like there's that.
All jokes aside, it did make me smile a bit. I was like, okay, there was a point at a time where in life where I was really conscious about my personal brand and building it, but I just forgot about that because whatever. Maybe it was just happening as a result of everything that I'm doing.
Because you're quite natural as well. I think that's important. You shouldn't think about it too much.
Yeah. So I don't like if one thing that comes to mind, and it's literally I sound like a recovering pop star or something here, but like just be yourself, right? And post, like get involved, like post on LinkedIn. I can't tell you still in today's age that when we speak to people and they're like, we're a huge fan of your podcast, and it will be like someone in a very high position in a large, like multi-billion-dollar company, and I'm like, I don't even know you existed. Like, no offense, like I didn't know you existed because they're not on LinkedIn. They're scrolling. There's lurking, exactly.
Lurkers, yeah. Well, I read an interview year since it was originally launched, and we get a huge amount of value out of it. So I thoroughly encourage everyone to go onto the Construct AI site and have a play around.
Cool. And guys, before we sign off, please don't forget to share, follow, and like all of our stuff. So that helps us to engage with you and understand a bit more about what you want so we can bring it to your doorstep as early as possible.
See you later, everyone.